Bucket naked.
Please hit the gym. Please hit the gym, and the pH needs to be balanced as well.
I've been drinking. Can't keep your eyes up right now.
Yo, sorry about that. I was on mute. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jay Larone Presents. This is your host, Jay Larone, or JLP, whichever one you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner, all right? Listen, transgenders in the military. Release came out saying that, hey, they're about to get rid of them. They have to get rid of them. They are, unless you get a special waiver or something like that. But as of right now, no more transgenders in the military, which I think is excellent, because why would you want to be in the military with somebody who's going through hormones, who's going through the change, so to speak, right? I mean, yo, it's crazy business, but this is what happens when too much wokeness. Too much wokeness in the in the federal government, too much wokeness in America, right? They just took wokeness and just took it to a whole new level. But yeah, so, you know, this Biden, I mean, not Biden, but Obama, under Obama, he let this shit happen. You know, I hate to say it, but it's true, right? Obama, because of him, opening the floodgates, this is where we at. You got people coming into the military, using your tax dollars to pay for gender reassignment surgeries and hormones and all this, that, and the third, right? Yo, let's go ahead and get into this video. If you haven't, hit that like button, subscribe, share. It helps the channel grow. And let's go ahead and do this.
And a new Pentagon memo shows transgender service members will be separated from the military unless they receive an exemption. The memo says service members with gender dysphoria are, quote, incompatible with military service, saying service by these individuals is not in the best interest of the military services and not clearly consistent with the interests of national security. Now the Pentagon has to create a procedure to identify transgender troops by March 26th and separate them by June 25th. Senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez has more on that story. Louis, how many troops could this policy affect and what impact could it have?
Diane, this has been a very difficult issue to track because the military does not track officially the number of transgender service members. However, we have asked for information. We have gotten information from a defense official that what the military is calling the diagnosis for gender dysphoria, that under that category there are about 4,200 service members in the active duty, the Guard, and the reserves. Who are currently in uniform. So we can take that as right now the initial universe of individuals who would be essentially booted out of the military.
But wouldn't that description be in their paperwork, their physicals, like when they go to the, you know what I'm saying, their paperwork, their medical paperwork, their medical folder, their medical file? That information would be in there if they're going through some type of hormones, or if they're identifying as, you know, me, him, her, she, them, we, it, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a way to find out who's who. So, you know, you got to just pull the medical records, right? I'm just saying it shouldn't be too hard.
One of the things that's interesting here, Diane, is that there have been surveys in the past that have made it sound like it's 15,000. Potentially it is that high. But again, gender dysphoria, which is the category that the Pentagon is issuing in this memo, that's what they're talking about. Another thing to talk about here is that there is no grandfathering under this new memo. Back in 2017, when new policies were enacted under the Trump administration to do the same thing, individuals who were in the military were grandfathered. That is not happening this time. Another thing that's different is the exemptions. Essentially, they're very difficult to reach for these individuals. It you have to guarantee that for 3 years already you're not on hormones. That's going to be very difficult to prove.
And this memo surfaced in a court case challenging Trump's rollback of the policy allowing transgender military service. So where does that case stand, and what are you watching for there?
Right, Dan. So it's very surprising that this document did not come out via a press release, but instead was an exhibit in this lawsuit that was filed by members of the military who are transgender and wanted to maintain their service profile inside the U.S. military. But the case is going to proceed, and that case was specifically against the executive order that President Trump filed back on January 27th, which essentially announced that he was rolling back the authorization for allowing U.S. military service members who were transgender to serve openly in the military. So that case is going to continue on, and it's kind of an example of what happened previously. When I did mention what happened under the first Trump administration back in 2017, when President Trump at that time announced the ban on transgender service, that was also tied up in the courts for several years. And ultimately, by the time the policy came out, it really didn't go into effect and was rolled back by President Biden. So I think it's safe to assume that this case will remain in the courts, and that there may be an impact at some point in the courts acting and maybe trying to prevent this from actually going into effect very, very quickly. But again, unforeseen right now as whether that is actually going to take place, but history indicates to us that it's possible.
So Biden, see, this is the thing with these Democrats, man. Too liberal, too left-leaning, right? Like I said, Obama opened the door, and now we got all this transgenderism in the military. Now, I don't know if any of these transgenders are out in the fields, like doing recons. You know what I mean? Special forces, SEAL teams. I have no idea. Hopefully not. I don't know if a lot of them are maybe in administration, in PAC. You know what I'm saying? Pushing paperwork, making sure payroll gets out. Who knows, right? Maybe they, maybe dental assistants and stuff like that. Working, medical supply specialists or some shit like that. I don't know. But I'm just saying, the thing is, like I said, all this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for these Democrats opening the door for this stuff, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Shit. Just imagine, man. I couldn't imagine, because I was in the military. I served 8 years, from 88 to 96, doing Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, all that. So just imagine. I don't even want to talk about being in the field with them. Just barracks life. Just you in the barracks, right? And how, you know what I'm saying? Because you got these bays. You have first floor is normally dedicated to the females in the company, and then the rest of the floor is dedicated to the males, right? So like the second and third floor, if it's a fourth floor. All you know what I'm saying. But the first floor is normally designated for the females. So if you're transgender, so if you're a man transitioning to be a woman, are they allowing? Because like I said, this wasn't even a thing when I was in. So are they allowing them to use the women's latrines to shower and all that, or do they have to go upstairs? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Are they downstairs or are they upstairs? Do they have you know what I'm saying? Are they using the men latrines, women latrines? I mean, this is the confusion. But we do know if Kamala would have made it, you could be damn well sure that they would have had, that shit would have been straightforward. Okay, transgender men, y'all are here. Y'all go to the women's, you know what I'm saying? Y'all free reign. Women's latrines, all that. You know what I'm saying? It would have been way more. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This shit would be in full transition mode. It would be happening. You know what I'm saying? It would be more of the pushing of Like right now, they still talking about tampons in the boys' bathrooms and shit like that, right? So if Kamala would have been in office, this wouldn't even be a thing. It would be transgender, because right now they having these fucking, like I said, they are able to get on these hormones and stuff like that. But it would be full-fledged rolling out of the pride flags and everything if Kamala would have stayed in office, right? Transgenders would be in sleeping with the women. They would be in the same bunks, in the same rooms, the same dorms or whatever, the barracks. They'd be in the same room, in the bays. They would be, using the same latrines, same showers, everything, right? Just everything all in open. Franks and beans everywhere. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because if they hadn't had the reassignment surgeries, Franks and beans would be all out. How is that normal, right? And that's if Kamala would have got into the office. But this is what they were pushing. This is what they're still pushing for in a way. But Trump is stopping it. You know what I mean? And I think back to when Kamala was giving her concession speech and she was talking about we're not going to stop fighting. I mean, that's basically what's going on now. They are not going to stop fighting. They're still fighting. They're holding true to their word when Kamala gave their speech to keep fighting. And this is part of the fight, to keep trying to push these agendas. That's why you got Jasmine Crockett all over the place, trying to push back on Elon, basically going in and checking them on the job they should have been doing in the oversight committee. That's why she upset. Because being in the oversight committee, one of the roles of the oversight committee is to keep a rein on the spending. Right? Obviously they didn't. So now she's on this hate Elon Musk tour, and she's the only one. Out of all the people in the oversight committee, why her? Why is she the one out front trying to get people to not trust Elon? She's mad because he's an unelected official, which that's his title. He's a special government employee. Nothing wrong with that. That's you can have those. They didn't say nothing when Bill Gates and Soros was running through the White House. None of them were elected, but they was damn sure everywhere up and down the halls of the White House like it wasn't nothing. Didn't nobody say nothing about that either, right? Just saying. So now, get these transgenders out of the military, man. I don't understand why was it such a big thing to have them in the military. But if you think about it, if you know the history of Barack Obama, Barry Soetoro, who when he was living in Hawaii with his stepfather and his mom, was it Hawaii or was it anyway, he had a transgender nanny. So there you go. Watch Candace Owens. That's all I can tell you. Go watch Candace Owens, and he's part of that series she did. Yeah. So you guys, drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think. It's Jay Larone with Jay Larone Presents. You guys, please be good to yourselves. By all means, let's be good to one another. And I will definitely catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Bucket naked.
Please hit the gym. Please hit the gym, and the pH needs to be balanced as well.
I've been drinking. I've been drinking.